So now that this interview happened, I have to tell you what was on my mind after.
Oh boy.
I think I can get a blue check mark from this.
That was my one thing when you originally got the email about like doing PR for TikTok. I was like,
Please don't ask.
Helen, do not ask about the blue check mark.
It was so hard not to, but I didn't. And I didn't today either. But I realized today,
Yes.
if I am featured in TikTok's study, I'm getting a fucking check mark.
You should. You really should.
It's like, come on. I'm one of 5 creators. Seriously?
That deserves a check.
What the hell?
If you can't get a check from that, then they got problems.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Helen.
I like how we always start like with the hi. By I don't know. It's just how we roll. How
Yeah.
you doing today?
Good. Steven is on the wings going, high energy. High
High
energy.
energy. Pick it up. Pick it up. I love it. Our coach. The coach is in the zone. All right. So I feel like my day has been so full and I'm so excited because there's stuff that needs to be shared. But before we dive into it, every time now since our influenced podcast episode, I think about things that I'm using. I'm like, oh, I got this because I found it on, I saw it on social media. So I want to, we don't have to do this every time, but for today, I just wanted to share a couple more things as like a leftover from that episode because things I didn't tell you about. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So one of the things that is very funny that I've seen again and again, biomimic foundation. Have you seen this thing? You
Nope.
put it on and it's white. I'll demonstrate. You put
Oh,
it
yes,
on,
yes. I didn't know that was the name of it.
and it's white. It goes on white, but the minute you rub it in, it takes on your skin tone. So I was so intrigued. Of course, I had to immediately purchase. I didn't buy it. I watched a bunch of videos and then went and got it on Amazon, of course. Like, I feel bad that I do that because as a TikTok shop creator now, it's not the best thing to do. But I don't know. I couldn't remember who I first saw it from, and I had to see it a bunch of times before I finally decided. So I just thought it was interesting. And I'm going to say this about it. It would be something I could use for sure. It's SPF 50. SPF 50. So it's very high. So
Is that
if you
too
wanna
much for you?
It's a little, I mean, sometimes when I'm out in the
God
sunshine,
forbid you have sun
I don't-
protection.
but I don't lay in the sun anymore. And so the minimal times when I'm out,
Okay.
literally in the shade. This summer, you got to talk to Tommy because I was not really laying out. I was at the beach maybe 3 times. And I just don't tan the way I used to tan. I don't spend the time like I have to get a tan. And so because I don't do that, now the minimal time when I'm out running or I'm in the sun, like 50 seems like so protected that I'm going to be pasty white the whole summer. And I like a little glow. So, but I am going to use it and I'm going to use it all damn winter. I'll tell you that right now because I did like it. I thought it was kind of cool. But to that point, today I had a conversation because my friend Lorraine, who who we've had on the Socialized podcast, she's an influencer full time. She was with the woman that owns this brand, Hey Honey, and she was on her Instagram story. And I said, "Oh, you know her? That's funny. I have that brand in my medicine cabinet." And I took a picture and I sent it to her. This is the Honey Silk Facial Serum. It feels so nice going on. This is just a regular face lotion. So nice, like silky smooth. I love it. And I was like, oh, I have that brand. So just a funny story that we ended up getting connected and she might sponsor one of our newsletters. So yay, that's exciting for today because I don't think I want to go down this path of like heavy duty doing like influencer content, but I would be happy to help a brand and especially feature them in the newsletter. So yay to that.
Yay.
Number 3, I only have 4.
Oh,
So
you only
number
have 4.
I only have 4, but I'm going quick. Number 3 is I was sent these Star Bars shampoo and conditioner bars because this is a company that is trying to eliminate plastic bottles. And you know how a lot of the shampoos, well, the one we use, OY, is that how you say it?
I think it's Way.
Oh, okay. Way. It's spelled OUAI. Okay. But they do refills that are not, so you're not doing plastic bottles. But this company's mission is kind of cool. So it's, you rub this in your hands and then you put it in your hair. I think they're really cool. And they come with this little, the soap holder to stand it on, which I like, this little wood soap holder. So I'm going to give these a shot and come back with some feedback. They're called Star Bars and they're cute. I'll open it so you can take a peek at it. One has got a raised star, which is the shampoo. And then the conditioner has a indented star so that you always know the
Hmm.
difference between which is which. So I just thought it was clever. She said they have multiple scents. This one's a little flowery for my taste, but they have like a lemon verbena, which would be more my speed. So on the next round, I'm going to ask her to send me that. But that was cool because I got it for free. Go ahead.
I have a funny shampoo story.
Okay.
Because I go through this phase, I feel like I might have talked about it on a previous episode, where I feel like this happens every year around the same time. I feel like my hair is falling out. And part
Oh.
of me feels like it's since moving to LA and like being in a drier climate and it's like hotter, a little hotter during the
Oh.
summers. Potentially it's like hotter and dry. It's like drier. And I think Steven sent me a TikTok. So I was influenced in a way that
Okay.
people have been using dandruff shampoo, like Head and Shoulders or like any like basic generic dandruff shampoo. And they're like, it's the best my hair has ever felt.
What?
Exactly. So I have like a mini bottle of dandruff shampoo that I actually use as face wash because there was a period of time when I was getting like really weird acne on my forehead and I Googled it and found out that like dandruff
Oh.
shampoo is a really good chemical face wash when you have this like very specific kind of acne. So
Who knew?
I know. So I started using it and my hair has never felt better.
What?
Yes. I'm using like $7 dandruff shampoo that I got off Amazon.
Wow.
And my hair feels so much nicer after I wash it. Like it's kind of crazy.
Wait, and you posted that video where you were going to bed and your hair looked great. Was that after that shampoo?
Yeah. That shampoo. My hair looks so good after I wash it.
I love that video. And the first thing when I saw that video come up, like, oh, her hair looks so nice tonight. And then that was the subject of your video. It was
Well,
so
yeah.
funny. My God. Well, that's a hot take.
I feel like I've been getting influenced on different little things, not necessarily like things to
Mhm.
buy. And that's definitely one of them.
I
That's like I
like.
already had the thing. I just had to use it. Like obviously.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
So
love that.
I know. I
And
love it
and
too.
yeah, I like how you get influenced on things like how it was the frownies, but not the frownies. It was the tape. The like
Yeah.
little hacks. Getting influenced on the little hacks.
The little hacks.
I got influenced on a little hack that I can't wait to try because we just bought bananas today, and I just saw this video yesterday. But if you take your bunch of bananas, and once they get to, I think you have to wait till they get to the most ripe, the part where you like them as ripe as that, and then you
Mm-hmm.
you wrap a wet paper towel around the stem that holds them together, and then you wrap
I saw
foil
this.
around that. It's supposed to keep your bananas good for. I think I sent it to you. It's supposed to keep your bananas good for like 2 weeks. What?
I feel like you get very influenced on the health food trends.
Okay,
You've done
it's a
like
good thing.
avocado pizza, avocado bread,
I
where it's
do.
just like avocado and
Cottage
flour, and it
cheese
looks like
pancakes.
the most, no offense, disgust. It looks like Shrek food. And then you did like
Oh my
shredded
God.
chicken pizza crust, and you're
Oh my
always
God.
doing these
I do. I'm
random.
always trying the things. I always try. I get influenced by the things that, oh my God, that looks like it could be delicious and healthy. But I will tell you this, avocado bread versus cottage cheese bread, because those are the two kind of flatbed trends that were going hot on social media. And the avocado bread, I think that I'm going to find out from my nutrition test soon when I get the results. But I don't think avocados agree with me because I always feel
Mm-mm.
like weird and repeaty after eating
Yeah.
avocados. So I don't have the problem with cottage cheese bread, but definitely avocados. I've noticed that.
So I have like, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on the podcast, but I'm trying to heal a stomach issue called SIBO.
Yes,
And
you
there's
have.
all these different categories of foods that I have been avoiding and I'm trying to reintroduce, but then it's like hard with traveling because you have to do like a week of very strict diet following and then
Right.
do the testing period. And it's like I haven't had like 2 consecutive weeks. And I
Right,
need
that
to
you
do
could do
it for like 8 categories. So I need like
Oh
two and a
my
half
God.
months to like do this. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to try and do it all at once. I'm going to like separate it. But avocados are
Mhm.
one of the things, along with like onions and garlic and broccoli, that like upset. So you might have just like a very small SIBO thing.
This is such good information because I think the test, like I am so, I can't wait to get the results of that nutrition test that I talked about last week, the plexus one, because
Yeah.
I do think there's something very real because I didn't even know that. So why would I think, okay, I'm finally going to eat avocados and get past the taste. I don't like the texture of them necessarily, but when I'm getting a little better with the texture of avocados and now I can eat it. So But now when I eat it, it doesn't feel good after. So I'm thinking, is that in my head because I didn't like avocados before? But now this is all making sense, and I'm going to find out once and for all about my baby taste buds.
A lot of it for SIBO is like the quantity. So you can have like a little bit of avocado,
Oh,
but if you're having like a whole avocado, then yeah, it's probably gonna upset your stomach.
forget
And the
it.
same thing with all the
Oh,
other foods
right.
where like if I have a little bit of dairy, I'm usually fine. But if I have a
Okay.
extra large milkshake from Shake Shack, we're gonna have
Okay.
issues.
This is great information. This is what I love about being in this era. Because when we were younger, nobody analyzed any of this. It was just like, get over it, move on, get over it. It's in your head. No, and not because they were being mean, but just because we didn't have this information at our fingertips the way we do now. So I'm very happy to be living in this era of technology where we can learn things. I love it. And I'm excited about it.
Oh, the other thing, the one last health thing that I will push, this wasn't from
Okay.
Instagram, but from my doctor, is I started taking digestive enzymes and now I just tell everybody about it. And then you take them before your meals, like because my stomach's pretty effed right now, they want me to take it before every meal. But if you're just like a civilian with no stomach issues and you're blessed,
A
um,
civilian.
I have a funny story about that. But you take it before bigger meals. Like the first time I took digestive enzymes was before we had like made pizza, and usually pizza will make me feel
Oh,
really bloated and really full. And I took digestive enzymes before, and I was totally fine.
wow.
So it helps
Okay,
when you
that's
have bigger
impressive.
meals, like before you eat out in the city.
And that could be a gluten thing. And not a gluten thing or an intolerance, but just having like a lot of carbs can sometimes make you feel like
Yeah.
that. So the
But that's why
digestive
it's
end.
like helpful.
Right. Wow, that's
But if you know you're
interesting.
gonna, so it's for everybody. I have them all the time
Oh
now,
my
and I feel like they
God.
really help. So now I'm
Oh,
influencing other people
I
on my
love
health
it.
hacks.
Okay, that's a good thing. But especially when they're helpful things, like I just think that's important. So I want to influence about one thing that I think is really important, and you know about it. So this is my last one for today, but I'm holding up only this because I don't have the whole box. So I received a gift basket from Alex Gift Baskets, which is a guy with Down syndrome that went to school ECLC with Jonathan. So I know his mom for years, and she reached out to me. And she knows I have a social media following, and she's like, "Oh, this is what we're doing." Alex started his own company, and we're starting it like a family business where he's making gift baskets. It's like a skill set he has, and he loves it. And we're trying to get it off the ground, and we would love for you to make a video. And of course, am I going to say no to this? No. It's like beautiful. Like I would love anybody who's doing a business that's going to help employ a special needs adult because it's so hard for them to get jobs, as we always talk about with Jonathan. Okay. So she sends me the box. I don't even know what my expectations were of the box. Okay. But I'm going to post a video. I'm going to post the video today. But my I get the box and I said to you, this is for people that need to know. I said to you, I have to make a video for this and I need some ideas because I want it to be good and meaningful and heartfelt, but I also want it to be really real. Okay. So as we're talking about ideas, I have an idea and I tried to tell you and I couldn't even get through it. I couldn't even tell you the idea and I was already crying because I was feeling it like I want to speak from the heart, and then I'm crying. So you kindly said to me, wait till after the weekend, regroup and everything like that. But then stubborn mothership hangs up the phone with Julie and I start to think about it and regroup. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to just try. And if I do get emotional, I'm just going to wrap it up and I'll just skip it and do it on Monday, as you said. But when I got set up and I had the camera set up and then I started talking, it's almost like when I'm nervous about Olivia's wedding and reading my officiating, but I know I'm going to be fine in the moment. But when I practice or read it ahead of time, I get emotional because I'm in my head. So in the same
Mm-hmm.
way, once I had the camera rolling, I made a great video, so that's why I want to talk about the product because then I find out after the fact that every single thing that was in the gift box. So this is one of them that I'm holding up, Coletti's cookies. Each of those businesses is supporting a special needs adult. Look at her. Look at Coletti.
Oh
Okay.
god.
And then so is the same with the soup company. They have a son with CP. So it's such a good cause. So now I want to kind of get it behind it and tell her and help them get it off the ground so that he can have success. I said to her, oh, if you really get successful, maybe you can hire Jonathan one day a week. You know what I mean? Maybe he could work there. Anyway, I just feel that if I'm going to do things and use my audience and speak about things, I want them to be for good.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of something that I wrapped my head around recently. So, I mean, yes, I could talk about makeup and skincare and things, and those are good too. And I can't wait. I got my package from Dr. Hauschka. You have to tell us, hi, Stephen. Dr. Hauschka sent me a little care package, and I will be doing a little unboxing of that. But I like to support businesses that are doing good things. And that's what I'm going to really try and focus on to some degree. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
By the way, I got through the video and then I took a walk on the High Line and sat down on a bench and edited the video on the High Line while I was making content about walking the High Line. And then I edited the video, finished the walk on the High Line, and ended up at a concert with the TikTok sensation that is named Saweetie with an A.
She's not just a
Saweet.
TikTok sensation.
I know, but that's how I know her. Tap, tap, tap in. And anyway, so I ended up at a concert. So the whole day was really fun yesterday. But then we ran right into a fun day today, which I'm going to talk about next. Woo! Before we do, can I ask you how your open mic was last night?
This is the Mothership podcast.
No, it's not.
I know. I'm kidding. Open mic was good last night. So I have a show this weekend, which by the time
Yep.
this will post it, it'll be past. And this morning I woke up and found out we only have one ticket left. So it's about to be sold out, which is so exciting.
So exciting.
The show is at the Crow. It's like a female-owned comedy club in Santa Monica. And it's in their upstairs room. So it's only 25 seats. Only.
Nice.
But it's 25 seats. It's a small, intimate venue. And they have another room that's like 60 seats. I didn't want to be all stressed about it. And given the past couple months, I'm glad it's only 25 seats. So it was not fairly easy. I was still stressed about it. But I'm feeling so relieved that we only have one. Like, I'm just happy that it's going to be good. And
That's great.
I went to an open mic last night. I've been getting back into it. It's just my biggest thing with comedy right now is like I'm getting back into it and then I'm going to be gone for like another month with all like 2 back-to-back weddings and a family trip. So I'm getting my bearings back because I was so rusty when I first started getting back into open mics like 2 weeks ago that I was having feelings that I had when I first started doing open mics. So
no.
there were 2 very specific things that happened when I was a beginner at open mics where like I could feel my heart like pounding out of my chest right before I would go up, and I would get an insane headache after the mic.
Oh, that's an adrenaline headache.
I think it's an adrenaline headache, but I also think it's like not being on stage with a light in my face for like not used to like the light and being like blinded by a light, you know?
Maybe, yeah.
So I'm getting back into it. I feel like while I'm on these trips, I have to like rehearse my material still so that I don't feel like so rusty when I get back.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I went to an open mic last night and it was crazy because like regular people showed up to just watch the open mic, and I started my set and I was like, hello, civilians. Because it's like
I'm crying.
Like, hello,
That's what you
civilians.
said.
Yeah.
How did you know they were regular people? Like,
Because I knew they weren't on it's a female open mic and there were a few dudes in the audience, you know?
Hello, civilians. How was that received?
They thought it was funny.
Oh my God.
So that was good. But it was just like, it was funny because I was like, hello, civilians. Like this, I appreciate y'all being here, but this is not usually
that's
what
so
I'm usually
funny.
like on stage because I'm testing, like I'm working on material. It's not usually like the best, but it was funny. So getting
that's
my
great.
getting my comedy legs back.
Good for you. Good for you. I will say, little shout out for your podcast appearance. I don't know if we even talked about that on here.
Not
Let's
yet.
just for a minute. So Meredith Lynch, who is a pretty, popular TikToker over there on the platform. She does a lot of controversial pop culture opinions. Like she'll come out on, a subject, and she's usually a lot of fighting in her comments because people take one side or the other. But she's very funny, and she applied to be in your comedy show, which was first like, oh my goodness, somebody, so she has respect for you as a comedian and producer, which is exciting, and she wanted to be on your show. Boom. Shout out to you. And then she invited you on her podcast. Boom. How was it being on someone else's podcast?
It's like so different, which is like fine. It was just, it's especially when it's only like, she's the host and there's a guest versus like we are both just on this together. So it's just like our normal conversation where she's like very much in the driver's seat asking the questions and I'm just kind of like along for the ride, not really like guiding anything at all.
And you went in person, which is cool. So tell me about it. Was it a studio or was it at her apartment? Like, what was this?
It was a studio. It was like a small office room studio.
Okay.
And it was really nice. The lighting was
fun.
fantastic.
I can't wait to see it. I only listened to it. I
Oh
didn't go
yeah.
watch it. Wow. Okay. I listened to it. So I want to, and I'll talk about the fact that if you want to listen to this podcast, it's funny and it's quick. So you're not going to feel like you're sleeping on a podcast. That's one thing I'll say. It is tightly edited. And it was the first thing that I noticed about it was like how quickly, like ours is edited, but it's real. I don't even know how much editing Steven does, quite frankly, because it always sounds like our real conversation to me when he edits these, which is, I think, great. But that one,
Yeah,
I
like he's not
felt,
cutting out he's not cutting out dead space if we take a second to think, but if we like have a moment where we need to sidebar, he'll cut that out and like
yeah. So I'm saying like this was so edited that it felt like at the end of it, I was like, I gotta like take a deep breath because I feel like it was, but it was so like energy. And she was go on this topic, that topic. And it was like really like hot. I don't know. I thought that was so interesting. There's
yeah.
not a lot of podcasts that are doing that. It was
No.
almost edited like a long TikTok content,
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kind
Well,
of.
I love our editing, so shout out to Steven because he does the
Yeah.
best editing and makes the best teasers. So if you want previews of the episodes, you need to go
Yes.
to yours truly the podcast on Instagram and check out the wonderful teasers he makes because he edits those together. And he has a list of all the things we talk about. Last week when we did the influenced podcast, he took notes of every product we talked about because he knew we would forget about the affiliate links. So that way I was
Yes.
able to
We
ask
were
you
ready.
exactly. He was
Oh,
ready.
man.
So if you need a podcast producer,
I loved listening to it, a podcast with just you and not me involved, and see how your tone was different a little. I can't even explain it. You were still you, but you were with like a young person and in a different, like you were in a different kind of mojo. You were talking to a fellow comedian. I don't know. I felt like it's intriguing. I liked it.
yeah, it's
I
different.
liked seeing you out in the wild on your own. Because every time we've been on a podcast, we've been on it together.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you've been on a lot of podcasts without me.
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I have. And they've been, and sometimes they're all very different. And I'm being an interviewer by trade. It's interesting to hear when someone else is interviewing me and to see where they go with it and trying to be not, and to take myself out of the driver's seat, just like you had to do, like take yourself out of that position of where this is going to go and just let the
Mm-hmm.
person. So it's pretty interesting. But it does tie into the topic, which is the other part of the topic that I want to talk about today, which was my interview this morning. So again, I had to take myself out of the driver's seat. I was
Mm-hmm.
interviewed by two people who I was recommended to as one of 5 TikTok creators that is going to be featured in a study about TikTok and how it impacts and changes lives, and in general the benefits of TikTok and all of that. It was unbelievable. I was so pumped up after that video, after that interview. They recorded it, but it's,
Are you allowed to talk about it?
yeah, I think so, because it was my story. They were asking me what I loved
Mm-hmm.
about it. They're putting a study together because they want to have some information about the platform from creators about how people are using it, how it has benefited, and they want to have some actual receipts, if you will. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if they're going to use this for what they're using it for, but they mentioned the TikTok ban, and so maybe there's something that has to do with that, where they're going to be presenting it somewhere, and I will be quoted. I mean,
Look at you.
I thought there was like going to be 15 or 20 creators. 5.
Were you all on this one call
I
together?
made the cut. No, it was one at a time. And I realized after the fact that, remember last week I had the interview, because I asked them this. So last week I had the interview with the
Yeah.
PR company. So I said, oh, by chance, is this related to the call I had last week with the PR company? And she said, yes. So
Oh.
they were pre-interviewing people to be selected for this. So, you know, when I said to you after I hung up from that call last week and I said, oh, I feel like I was just on a Sensodyne dentist interview, because I felt like they were
Mm-hmm.
asking me questions to find out what my thoughts were. And that I felt like I was in a casting.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like either a job interview or a casting. So I said that to you. And sure enough, I made the cut and I got picked for the show. Which is a
So
TikTok, which is a
exciting.
survey. I know. I mean, I didn't realize it till I was on it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I had time to
Yeah.
think ahead of time. I was just like, oh man, this is cool. But I was already in it, and it was so amazing. So here's what I can say about it. They were asking me lots of questions about how I got started, my story, and I was taking them through it, and their faces on screen were so engaged, and the guy who was asking the questions was so good. I even said to him, I interview for a living and you are amazing. Like the way he would take it and then go to the next thing, but bring me back to where we were supposed to
Mm-hmm.
go next. I mean, he was brilliant at it. And she was so upbeat and smiling. I felt like she helped the energy for me because it was like I could see she was really engaged in the stories that I was telling her. It was so great. And what I came out of this with is, Julie, you're going to love this, but this should be kind of a book. There should be a story, because they said this is the most unusual story we have heard. And we've talked to a lot of creators through the years,
Did they say why they thought that?
because it just had so many twists and turns. And then how it started with baking and then cancer, and how you were involved with getting me on the platform, but then I ended up having the following, and you've been supportive. I mentioned you to call saying you wanted to be the first. I gave your joke about how you wished I started sooner because you could be the first Nepo baby of TikTok. They
Yeah.
cracked up. So that even landed.
Well, I'm glad the joke landed.
The joke
I'm glad
landed.
you stole my joke.
Yes, I had to.
Did
I
you
gave
tell them that
credit.
was my joke?
Oh, yes. I said she does stand up. Well, I had said that in the very beginning because they were asking, do I have anybody that works with me? So I explained that how we work together. And they said that you do comedy. So then that's when it was perfect when I said the Nepo thing, because I said that's one of her jokes that she delivers on stage. I mean, it was so good. Everything about it. I literally hung up and I felt like I was on a high because I thought this was like the best thing. And because I heard myself from the third person and realized this is really kind of a cool story. Like they were asking me what was a major turning point, and I got to mention the VC when that happened. And I'm like, that was a major turning point. I'm like, that turned my little TikTok thing into a serious thing when it was like somebody's taking this seriously. So that was a cool thing to talk about as a turning point. They were asking how I monetize, and I was so crystal clear. I was so crystal clear on how this has elevated me as the expert, and therefore brought opportunities that I would never have. They wanted to be tangible about it and everything. So I loved it, and I spoke frankly and excitedly, and I don't think I left one stone unturned. You know what I mean? And sometimes you get off and you go, oh, I should have said this or I should have said that, which I felt last week when I had the call. I was like, oh, I should have told them more about like the directing and how I'm doing the Olay and Clairol stuff. And
How long was the call today?
1 solid hour, and it was
Wow.
wall to wall, baby.
I'm sure.
Wall. And it was good. I can't even, I wish I was recording it, because I think that is the book. Like, oh, because it was so, I just like the way I was
I'll start
telling
drafting it.
Oh, I'm telling it was so good. And then I told them, I said, by the way, this is going to be a book and we're calling it 0 to 1,000,000. And they were like, do it. But they were just like, and they were just into it. And they just kept saying, like, this story is so different from all the other stories we've heard, which is what makes, I think that's what I don't think I've realized to this point until it was told from beginning to end, and all the twists and turns. And I was talking about the woman who contacted me when I was offline for 3 weeks, and how she now recently sent me a little package with some lip balm and stuff. I'm like, this is like community. I told them how we're creating a community upcoming, so we should talk about that. So pumped about that, by the way. I can't stop thinking about that now that we're heading in that direction. I finally see it in a way that I never saw it before. So I'm just excited.
Good morning for Helen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. I was so fun. I'm like a little kid sometimes. I told them that too. I said, sometimes I think I am forever the child in me of being excited about things. And they were even asking things that other people never asked before. Like, how did you deal with in the beginning? Did you get a sense when you were posting that people that you knew were disapproving? And I was like, oh, that is so raw.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, did any of the questions surprise you?
That one got me, because I was just like, geez, to the point where I mentioned a few specific instances without naming any people. But I said, yes, there has been times where someone said, why are you doing those types of videos? And I literally, yeah. And I mentioned the person who said TMI when it was the cancer thing. I had to like throw that. I didn't it's not like anybody needs to know who or what, but it was just like
Yeah.
interesting to relive those things because I've already put them so far into the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I kept following my path because they were asking me what would you advise to someone. I was saying you almost have to put blinders on to other people's opinions, and that's very
Mm-hmm.
hard to do as a younger person, but it does become easier as you get older. So I
Yeah,
think I hit on
definitely.
everything.
Sounds like you did.
So now that this interview happened, I have to tell you what was on my mind after.
Oh
And now
boy, I'm
you
I'm
like
kind of scared, but it's fine.
you should. I think I can get a blue check mark from this.
That was my one thing when you originally got the email about like doing PR for TikTok. I was like,
Please don't ask.
Helen, do not ask about the blue check mark. Do not ask about the blue check mark.
It was so hard not to, but I didn't. And I didn't today either. But I realized today if I am
Yes.
featured in TikTok's study, I'm getting a fucking check mark. Come on at this point, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. You should. You really should.
It's like, come on. I'm one of 5 creators. Seriously? Come on. In their own
That
study?
deserves a check. Yeah.
What the hell?
If you can't get a check from that, then they got problems.
I just have to say one thing because I do have a very dear friend that I love on TikTok, and I noticed recently that she has a blue check mark, and I don't see. I can Google her, and I don't even see one article. And I don't. She doesn't own a company, or she doesn't. I don't know. I mean, she's amazing. She's been maybe in the army or something like that. That's her her
Mhm.
past. Maybe I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I love her. I love her, and I'm like, good. She deserves a check mark. She's got a big following. She's consistent. She's a great poster. But I also feel a little bit like I don't know why am I not feeling the love from TikTok?
Well, now they better. Do you think that this whatever this is going to result in you being like in a commercial?
Oh, geez, I never even thought about that. Could you imagine?
Cuz they have those commercials that they're running now where it's like small businesses like
Oh,
on like TikTok, like TikTok for good or whatever. So I'm curious
I
if
have
like
seen that. I have seen that. I don't know if I would qualify for that because I don't know. Because really, it's not like I have this. I'm not selling a product. I don't have a brick and
well did
mortar. They
this
asked me. They asked me this question. This is a good one, and this was
Oh,
unexpected.
okay.
Would you ever consider your having a brick and mortar? And at first, I said, my instinct is to say no, but I've learned from a friend to not say no, always say not now. Because as I think about it, maybe there's a creator space that gets in, and then maybe there's a place where people meet, and then it's like we can make videos. Maybe we have a New York office and a West Coast office where it's like our creator community studio. And it was like, it came to me on this call with them. And then I went, oh my God, the possibilities. We don't even know what's coming, Julie. So I want you to talk about the creator community because you were trying to sell me on this idea for a while now. And all right, don't make the eye roll. We got here. And it's not because someone else told me, it's just because it's a reframing of my mind of how.
Okay.
No, because before, when I was thinking about making a creator community, I felt like it was something I have to sell to my followers or pitch to them, like join this community because we're going to do all this for you. And I was going to have to make all these extra videos. And the idea was stressing me out on the sales side and then on the workflow side of what I had to do. And now I see it differently. I've reframed my mind as to where we're headed. And I don't think I have to convince anybody. It's just literally making a place where I'm available for people who would like the availability and would like the access. And that's, I think, was my problem from the beginning. But because now we're getting more and more reach outs where people want to work one-on-one and they want to pay for my time and everything like that, we have to find a solution. And I love it. Are you excited about it?
Yes, I'm excited about it because I've pitched this to you multiple times. It
Noted.
sometimes takes an outside person to pitch something to Helen for her to then see the value of it, even though if I've pitched it, but it's fine. It's fine. We're working through it.
We're having therapy about it.
It's fine. Yes, we're going to start like a paid community, which I'm very excited about. It'll be good. It's time. We give a lot of information away for free, and I think this is a great
Yeah.
way because I see on my end how many reach outs you get. And the thing is, You're too nice. You're too nice sometimes.
I knew it
You
was
just-
coming. I knew it was
You're
coming.
too nice. You just will hop on a Zoom with anybody, and I have constantly said you can't do that. You really got to charge for your time. You're an expert. Your value, your time is value. So we finally hit a chord,
Yeah.
and a community is coming.
I think it had to just get to a point where there was like a point of no return because there was no other option. And it's not because, and now that we have talked about what it's going to be, I am so excited about it. So I can't wait to see how it fleshes out. We're bringing an expert in with us that's going to help us through it, which is really, really important. And I'm just, my mind is just in such a good place. Like now I can't wait. And which is what happens to me. The minute I make a decision on something, I just need it now.
Yeah, that's
But it's
another
I know.
problem.
I hope you told her about all my idiosyncrasies so she's ready.
I did. I was like, it always takes Helen, an expert that's not me, to convince her to do
That's okay.
something.
That's okay. It's okay. It's going to be worth it for both of us. We're going to learn a
Yeah.
lot. And I think a lot of it is we knew it was a good idea. We just didn't have the personal experience and resources to know how to do it properly and effectively.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty
It'll
pumped.
be really good once it's
I'm pretty
launched.
pumped.
It'll
I
be
know.
a great place to be, and it's going to be awesome. And I think we'll talk more about it as we develop it and start to promote
Yeah.
it, most likely.
Yeah, especially when we get all the details ironed out. So,
Yeah.
but I'm pumped. So that's our new thing. So now I just feel like all these things are leading to that. And the reason why it's even on my mind today is because, of course, they asked me what plans do you have for the future? And so I had to be I wanted to be very clear because I'm like, this is going on record, and I want to be like, this is what I'm doing professionally with my work, my directing work, and doing the TikTok directing is really where I see myself headed and everything like that. And then I wanted to talk about the community and how we're such a great resource, but now we have to figure out how to be compensated for providing the resource because it's just a lot of work. And they were asking me, do you have someone hired and everything like that? I said, yes, my daughter and I work. We're partners together in this. And she's like my right hand. So you got mentioned a lot, girl.
Well,
And I'm like, I said, we just need to somehow figure this out so I can get more help. So I'm not, burning myself out. So they were really into it. And they were wanting to get into the details of the money. So, which I thought was funny. So I was like, we can we're talking more generally about that.
That's good.
It was good though. Very positive.
Nice. Well, I'm excited
So
whenever
good.
I'm excited for whenever it's a publicly facing asset thing that we can see.
They're going to
That'd be
send it to
nice.
me for approval first because they said everything, even if the article gets rechanged or if the report gets changed multiple times, it always has to be approved by all the creators that are in it. So that the quotes, and I
That's
said, do me a
good.
favor, make me sound a little better because some of the things I said, I'm like, I
Oh,
didn't
boy.
articulate this well. No, it's good. One time I said to them, it was effing game changing, and you can please take out the swear word. She said, we will.
Oh,
It was
boy.
funny. It was fun though. They were awesome. I loved it.
Nice. Yay. Well, I'm excited to see what's happened.
So next for us though is we're going to be together next week for Olivia's La Boda of Olivia and Ian. So we will be making content together. I'm so excited. You have to give me time for content.
I know. And I think by the time this episode is posted, hopefully the content will probably be posted because it'll be after the wedding.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Oh, okay, good. So and then we'll have to do a post like wedding recap on the weekend of the family weekend of the chaos that will ensue. It's going to be fun.
It'll be really fun.
Great. All right. So I guess I'll be seeing you soon.
Next week.
Like
Less
next
than a week.
Okay. Hooray.
Yay.
Yours truly.
Helen and Julie.
Thanks for being with us. As always, we love the chats, and you never know what we're going to talk about, and sometimes we don't know either. We're full of surprises sometimes. Anyway, give us a review. Leave us a little 5-star review. Do the thing. Press the buttons. Ding, ding, ding. And give Julie a follow on her new TikTok account at @JuliePalisi_. Let's pump it up. And then go give Alex Gift Baskets a look-see. AlexGiftBaskets.com, which I'll put in the show notes because I'd love to
And
help them out. And
you can watch our episodes on YouTube because Helen loves to bring props now that you can't
do
see if
bring
you
props.
listen. So check out the YouTube. It's just on the Mothership's YouTube. So if you want to see the products.
I'm gonna bring props every time now. This is gonna
Yeah.
be my thing. You can start with Helen's props. It's gonna be a segment.
Oh boy.
I'm just kidding. All right. Well,
Alrighty.
good to see you. HelloSocialize.com for all your learnings, and we'll see you next week. Bye, Jewel.
Bye.